it just got me thinking, you know what? Why isn't Dreamcast on Switch? Okay, so the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, all we really talk about is the N64, the NES games, and the SNES games, right? The NES, the SNES, and the N64. But it was a big shocker when we saw SEGA come to the system, right? Onto the service with the SEGA Genesis or the MegaDrive if you're here in the UK. I was like, what? And then they brought the controller over. We've done videos about it, all that good stuff. But what if they brought the best console to Nintendo Switch Online? The best SEGA console, which is the Dreamcast. Can you imagine that? So we don't really, they've kind of released a bunch of games for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack for the Sega side, but it's kind of just like, here you go, here's some games. Cool, bye. You know, there we go. All good. I kind of want to see more of that, but I definitely want to see the SEGA Dreamcast. I love the SEGA Dreamcast. We have one. We've got loads of games. Christina's a huge fan of the Dreamcast as well. All her games, they're actually hers. All the games that we've got, which is like an entire shelf full, are actually all hers, because I didn't have a Dreamcast when I was a kid. But can you imagine if we saw like the controller, the Dreamcast controller, which by the way, I really dislike, but can you imagine if we saw like a wireless version of this, right? Come to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have this little thing. It would be like built in, right? Because that's where you like save. It's basically like the save card. But you know, it would be so cool if they brought like a wireless version of this for use with the Nintendo Switch Online. Like that'd be so good, because our controllers, at least the D-pads are a bit funky, and you know, it'd just be cool to have that, because they've done it with everything else. You've got the N64 controller, you've got the Sega Mega Drive controller, you've got the NES controller, you've got the SNES controller. So why not bring the Sega Dreamcast controller as well? Like, why not? And can you imagine the games like Soul Calibur, Jet Set Radio, Space Channel 5, Crazy Taxi, Sonic Adventures 1 and 2, and let's not forget these, right? These right here, which is Shenmue 1 and 2. Can you imagine if they brought these over? Now, I know that there's remakes of these on the PS4. We've bought them, and there's number 3 as well on the PS4 or PS5, but I would love to see the originals come to Switch, because playing them handheld as well would just be so good. Like Shenmue, which is like a long RPG game, like that would be so nice to play docked on the telly, and then if you were going somewhere, just pick it up straight off and then carry on. Like that would be so cool. I would love that. There's so many other amazing games as well for the Dreamcast. I'd have like a stack of them right here, but I didn't want to get them all out of the shelf, right? So I picked some of the best ones, but there's so many games that they could bring, and I think it would really help people find value in the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service, because I know a lot of people are still not happy, even though we get, you know, everything that we get. I understand that it needs to be better, but I think they need to push a bit harder on the Sega stuff, because there's so many people that never got to play these consoles because they're old now, okay? Not everyone's as old as me, and people don't know about this. And the Dreamcast was so good. Like, for its time, it was amazing, right? A lot of these games were like late 90s, and we still have fun now. We've just completed Shenmue 1 on the Dreamcast the other day. We've actually got a video about an HDMI adapter that means you can modify your Dreamcast to work on a new telly, like a full-size, you know, 4K TV or whatever, and it looks amazing. So go check that video out. But we completed Shenmue recently on that, and it was just so good. And it just got me thinking, you know what? Why isn't Dreamcast on Switch? Like, is there a reason? I mean, they've clearly got some sort of deal going on here with Sega, because we've got the Genesis or the Mega Drive, right? So could you, like, could we expect the Dreamcast? I want to think that there's some sort of hope, there's some sort of chance that we will see the Dreamcast come to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service. This is basically a bit of a rant about my love for the Sega Dreamcast, because I love it. And I think you would too, if you don't already. So what are your thoughts? Would you love to see the Dreamcast, or are you kind of not fussed about the Sega stuff? Like, Nintendo, stop messing around with Sega, bring us the GameCube, bring us Game Boy Color, bring us Game Boy Advance. Like, I want all that stuff too, but I'd love to see Dreamcast on Switch. Now, there could be a potential that Nintendo will release more consoles to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, and if you want to see more about that, then click on this video just here, because in this video, I discuss how likely it could be and what we could expect to see, and just, you know, go click it. Why are you not clicking it? Go and watch this video right now. Oh, and subscribe as well. Make sure you subscribe first, then watch this video. Do it. Just do it.